Hi everyone, I'm Allie. Join me for this simple Delica based peyote cover that's going to go onto a button shank. You may even have some at home, but if you do need any, check out the supplies list in the description below the video. If you're on an iPad or mobile, it's that little down caret to the bottom right. Click on that and you can get everything that you need here from us at Potomac Beads. So to get started with these covers, I have a 12mm button shank. If you have a larger button shank that you want to wrap around with, as you get towards the end and as we start to go back to a decrease, you'll just keep getting bigger and then start your decrease later. You can see that you can make them really patterned or even kind of at random when you're working with it. While I'm teaching you how to do these and doing this circular peyote stitch, we are going to just make it very, very simple, and each of our 11 rows are going to be a different color. I have 3 colors here of Delicas, and these are the 11O, the Duracoat Opaque Underwater, the blue lined Cobalt, and then the next one is the Duracoat Galvanized Matte Pewter. So, to start out, we have some green wildfire thread with a size 12 needle, and let's go ahead, since the steel color actually is going to be the closest to our thread color, and I'm going to tie a knot rather than doing a stop bead because I prefer that so my bead's not in the way. I'm going to go ahead, let them drop down to the bottom of my 3 feet of my green wildfire thread in the 0.006, and I'm simply going to tie them into a knot. Give a nice tight pull and make sure that knot is there to stay. We'll go down then and we will burn off that extra thread when we get to that point, but I'm going to keep on that little tail right now because that's actually helpful kind of to hold on to. From here, I'm going to sew through, so that was row number 1, 4 beads. Stay tuned also for as we get further in the design. I will be showing you a document that shows all of the different rows, so you'll probably want to take a little screenshot. And then we'll try to get that onto the landing page as well. Row number 2, we're going to do this underwater blue color. Add a blue one, sew through your next bead. Add a blue, so this one we're also adding 4 beads. Sew through the next blue. Add a blue, sew through the next gray without getting your thread caught on the paper and your pliers. Add another one and sew through that first gray. As you sew through that first gray, and bring your thread out, I also want you to sew up through the first blue bead. That's what's called a step up. So we're stepping up always as we do each new row into the first bead of the row we just completed. So you can see how you get that nice kind of diamond shape there. That is row number 1 and row number 2. So row number 1 we did 4 beads, row number 2 we did 4 beads. And we did them in a ratio of 1 to 1. For every 1 bead we sewed through, we added 1 bead. Row number 3, we're going to do 8 beads. For this, every bead, we're going to add 2 beads for every one that we're sewing through. So we'll go now to our darker blue, our cobalt color. We're coming out of the turquoise, 2 beads get added, and so on through. Bringing all that thread out. Once again, 2 beads get added, sew through the next turquoise bead. 2 added, through the next bead, 2 get added, sew through the next turquoise bead. And then at the same time, you can see those beads almost sitting like a herringbone style. Want to separate? Go ahead and sew through the cobalt, which is your step up, sewing through that first bead from your row that you just completed. So now we have on 8 beads, groups of 2, 4 groups of 2 that are sitting. For row number 4, we're going to add 8 more beads. Instead of adding 2 beads anywhere, we're adding them 1 at a time between every single one of our cobalt beads. So where they sit there in that V section, you're going to push in 1 of your beads. And I'm going to go back to that silver color so that way we can keep track of our rows as we're building them. So on to row 4, adding in a bead, sewing through the next cobalt bead. There's bead number 1, bead number 2, sew through the next of our cobalt beads. So I have 2 beads on here. I have 6 more to add, adding in 1 between every one of our cobalts. So I'm getting ready to add my 8th and final one in this 4th row. And I'm going to sew back through the cobalt that my thread was originally coming out of, while also then sewing through and stepping up into the first of the gray beads that I added in this 4th row. Now we're going to go on to the 5th row. For row number 5, we're also going to add 8 beads. And we're going to add 8 beads, again, 1 bead between each one of my gray. So back to the blue color, add a bead, sew through a bead. Always again, starting out with that same pattern of stepping up and then going through. There's 1 bead gets added, adding another bead, and continuing on. Finishing out this last row of 8, you can see I'm going through that first grayish silver bead and then stepping up to that first blue bead and coming out there. Now I'm going to get ready to add row number 6. And when I'm adding row number 6, this starts to increase to 12 beads. So I'm going to put on 2 beads for every 1 bead I go through, and then 1 bead for every 1 bead. So we're going to alternate 2 on, then 1 on, 2 on, then 1 on. So I'm into that cobalt color again when you're looking. So I'm going to bring these over here. 2 beads go on, and I sew through the next turquoisey bead. 1 bead goes on, and I sew through the next turquoise bead. Once again, 2 beads go on through the next turquoise, and then switching back to 1 bead through the next turquoise. Now with circular peyote, what we're doing is we're trying to maintain and keep this flat as we're building and making with it. So you're going to have to look, if you're trying this with some different beads, just let it relax. You'll see a tiny bit of thread, but by the time you have it all stitched up, you really won't see much at all. So again, I'm doing that 2, 1, 2 pattern, going in here, and then closing this off with 1 bead, and then once again, stepping up. I'm only stepping up once again through that first hole of the first bead. Now if I pull this tight, I'm going to get it to start cupping a little bit. I don't want that to occur, so I'm gonna let it relax. And I'm through that first one of my cobalt beads that I just added. We're going to go back to our gray for our next row. And for that next row, we are doing 12 beads again. So this is row number 7. But this one, every single one of those cobalt beads is going to get a bead between it. So even in the corners again, when we have that herringbone style, you're going to get that same look. And don't forget that you can always slow this video down. You can watch it, if you need to, in multiple steps and look at the bottom for the different steps that are made. As well as don't forget that you can comment and say, if you're starting to do a design, exactly what that list of the pattern is going to be, and post your pictures of your own designs for these in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. If you're purchasing the bead shanks from us, you are going to get them in a bag of 10. So you have a ton, and these work great for making projects look really personalized, since you too are doing the button that sits at the end. So I'm going to go in here, keep going around to finish up this row. And at the end of this row, just like the previous one, you're going to end up with 12 beads. Our 8th row is next after this, and we're going to use, for the 8th row, 16 beads. So this is going to be our largest row, and then we're going to start to downgrade. Just like every other row, I go through the first bead that my thread was coming out of to finish the row, and then step up through the first bead that I added. As I step up through the first bead that I added, I'm going to go back to a 2-1 pattern, meaning I put on 2 beads, then I put on 1 bead, then I put on 2, 1, etc. So as I go through, 2, then 1, 2, then 1. So we're going to go in here with the blue. And once again, when you're looking at it, this is row number 8. So 2 beads go on. 2 beads go on. Then 1 bead. 2 beads go on. See how it's going in there and filling in those gaps? 2 beads go on. Fill in those gaps and space it out. And that's why you don't want to pull super tight on your thread, because eventually you're going to cover up that thread with the beads. After I have 2 sets of 2, 1 bead goes on. So I'm going to continue now, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, and then come back and get ready for our 9th row as we get ready. Our last row is row 11, so we're almost towards the end. As we finish up this row here, we're going to start our next row. So our next row, see where the openings are? Right there, all those openings. We're going to keep these beads grouped together as we downgrade. So I'm back to that cobalt. So I'm going to add 1 cobalt, sew through the 2 beads that are already there in the turquoise. So the ones that are grouped, we're going to keep those. 1 cobalt, sew through the 1 bead. 1 cobalt, sew through the 2. So this ratio is 1 to 2 and then 1 to 1. Adding 1, sewing through 2. And at this point here, it's going to start cupping a tiny bit. That's good. That's what we want to happen, because we're going to put our button shank in right after this row. Once again, 1 to 1, and then 1 to 2, sewing through there. So this is going to add in an additional 12 beads. So 16 was our biggest row. Now we're going into 12, and we're downgrading as we get to the back. I'm going to continue adding in my last couple ones of my cobalt bead, and then after going back through those 2 of my turquoise color, I'm going to step up to that cobalt bead to get ready for my next row. Rows number 10 and 11 are so simple. We're going to get ready to put our button in there, but I'm going to add my first row of beads and then really put that button in there as I do row number 11. So row number 10, I'm going to go in and let's move some of these cobalt beads over, and we've got 12 of those to add. So it's just the last 2 rows, we add 12 and we pull that in from our 16, going smaller and smaller, getting back to that 12 method. Here go a bead, sew through the next cobalt. So I'm using the cobalt beads even though I have cobalt already on, because it's the end, you've got the hang by now, and it's just 1 to 1. We're going to go in and quickly sew those 12 beads in place. And as you sew these 12 beads, you're going to notice that you're getting that kind of little saucer shape, that it is starting to collapse in towards itself. Again, because we're going from that space with 16 beads down to a space with just 12. And as I go around, adding another one of the cobalt to all the cobalts that sit in place, coming around to the center. And I'm going to show you, the reason I'm making you watch me go through and add all of these seed beads and do my quick beading here, is because I'm going to show you when I go in and put the actual shank in. So you'll notice I'm pulling the beads through, but I'm not pulling super tight. Going through that first blue bead, stepping up, and I have not pulled very tightly yet. See that little basket effect that's going on? 3-dimensional. Slide that cup button, or that button shank in there, and now give a nice little pull on your thread. Push that down in place, give a nice little pull, and pull your beads towards and around that. One more time around, I'll go back to my silver here. Silver bead goes on, and I go through the blue bead from the previous row that I just finished. So this is going to be your 11th row to finish everything out. Bead goes on, sew through, just normal peyote style, the bead that's already there. So I've got 2 on, I've got 10 more to add to finish up and to get this to go nice and tight around the back of that shank. As I'm going in now and closing up the button, it's kind of hard to see because of the shine of the button, I'm going through that first cobalt bead and then also stepping up, just like we've been doing, through the first bead in the row that I'm completing. You can see how nice and easy that fits around the button, and it is not going anywhere. The final thing that I'm going to do is take my thread and needle through a couple of those beads in that final edge, really just to pull it in tighter. If you want to, you can use some 15-0s around that inner edge between all of the silver beads and do one more, a 12th row, but honestly, it is not needed. that is tight and in there. I'm sewing back a little bit just once again to tighten this up just a little bit more. Be halfway. And then once that is there, I'm going to start sewing back into the project a little bit. This is the way to get rid of my thread in a peyote stitch without having to tie it off. So I'm coming out of that blue bead right there, and I'm going to reverse the thread where I'm not going to see it. So I'm going to reverse it to the bead that sits directly above it, reversing down that turquoise, pulling the thread in the opposite direction. Sewing a little bit along the peyote stitch then in that opposite direction. Couple stitches, getting that tightened in there. And I'm just sewing right along the diagonal and right along that peyote stitch because I don't want to see any extra thread. And then just like we did before, I'm going to reverse it. So I'm coming out of that silver bead there, I'm going to go into the blue bead that sits below and reverse the thread. And then when you pull that, you pull it nice and tight, you don't even see it. That action right there basically locked the thread in place that you are not going to see it move and it is not going to come out because you're reversing the thread multiple times within these tiny beads. After doing so, I'm going to bring my thread out near my blue bead there because it's about the same color, and I'm going to take my thread burner, burn off that thread to the top. If you want to, you could do a stop bead and then sew that further down, and then burn off the thread to the back here. There we go. So you can see how you can really have fun with the different patterns and the different colors. I like this kind of pixelated one just to show you so that every little row is a different color. It makes it easier to understand, but as you're doing this, you can really have fun creating patterns of your own. Just look on it as you add the next color and see, ooh, what do I want? Do I want this line to continue? Do I want it to get wider? Do I want it to look like a little point? When you're creating, what you can do is start simple. So I want you to start with this diagram here when you're looking at it. And I want you to start with this diagram that you can take a little screenshot of here. These are your rows that you're going to have. So you're going to have row 1, 4 beads, row 2, 4 beads. Remember 1 to 1, row 3, 2 to 1, row 4 back to 1 to 1. So look at this and follow this. Then what you can do is start another column here and write down what colors and what order you want to do the beads in. So if you want the starter row that you have all 4 black beads, then you have row 2 and you want maybe all 4 turquoise beads. Then row 8, you want to start out with 3 turquoise, 2 black, and then 3 turquoise again. So these are things that you can write and you can create, and I encourage you to create your own product or your own pattern as you go in and play around. So here in the little swirl one, which I will hopefully write up a pattern, I know there's going to be a demand. Started out with the black beads, then I did 3 more black beads and 1 gold. Then as I entered, every time I came out of a gold bead, I added another gold bead. And that's how I got that swirl section to start out and to happen as I was adding in and just getting that little nice accent. Same with this one here. You're going in and you're deciding where you want the beads to be. If you don't like what's happening, sew out and you can have all kinds of different fun with these buttons and really embellish anything you want with these fun personalized buttons. Thanks so much for joining me in creating these peyote cover buttons. Remember, you can have tons of fun with the patterns, and I can't wait to see all of your different patterns and ideas in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. Remember, if you need any supplies, check out the link below in the description of the video. If you're on a mobile or an iPad, little down card there, bottom right of the video, and you can get links to online as well. Thanks so much for watching. Have fun creating all your different patterns, and on to the next video.